Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday evening. Hard to believe it's Tuesday already. Tonight, we're going to talk about burnout. Are you feeling burned out? Are you feeling exhausted? Maybe a little bit overwhelmed by the pandemic and how long it's going on, or the changes that are happening? So, tonight's really quick strategy is all about how we can boost dopamine in our brain and use this strategy to help us feel better and more resilient. So, my name is Stephanie Paincho. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this hashtag live, hashtag replay. Let me know how you're doing today. And so let's get started with, are you feeling burned out? Are you feeling a little tired? Let me know in the comments if you feel comfortable, but let's dig into the Super Better strategies. So I'm back to Super Better tonight. Let's dig into the strategies by Dr. Jane McGonigal for one of the simplest ways to deal with burnout. So research shows that dopamine or higher dopamine levels are actually correlated with increased work ethic. So work ethic isn't just a moral thing that you should just get better at. It's actually a biochemical connection in your brain. So if you have more dopamine, you're actually better able to focus and be more attentive at the work that you're doing. And so you can improve your work ethic by doing a few simple activities to increase your dopamine levels. And what's one of those things that you can do? It's actually living gamefully and using some gameful strategies. And tonight's is a super simple strategy to help boost that dopamine. So I would predict that you're able to do this strategy, and you probably use this strategy already. You just don't know that it's good for your brain. So let's take a quick moment and just talk quickly about game playing. The research shows that game playing actually, whether that's video game or other games or just living gamefully, it actually helps to rewire your circuitry in your brain. So our brains are what we say are neuroplastic. They're flexible. We can retrain them, we can rewire them, and neurons that fire together stay together. So the more connections you can make in your brain, the more habits and positive traits and things you can add into your brain. So see, what we want to do tonight is rewire our brain so that we can see more challenging situations as something that we know we can take on, that we have the resilience to keep going. And it doesn't matter whether we get things right or wrong, because we know that in the challenge, we gain just as much from what we learn as when we get it right the first time. So we often know in game playing that you try things multiple times, you don't always get them right. In fact, people who play video games fail a lot of the time to get to that next level or to level up or to get through their next quest in the gaming. So same idea, is we want to train the brain and use that gameful strategy so your brain searches out those challenges and sees them as a challenge in a positive way, not something that you want to avoid. So each time you get feedback from a challenge or something that doesn't go well, that actually gives your brain information so you know how to do it better the next time. And so tonight's strategy actually comes from Dr. Judy Willis, who is a noted educational researcher as well as neuroscientist, and she suggests using this gameful strategy. So day 6 of the Resilience or Building Resilience series is make a prediction. So your challenge tonight is make a prediction. It can be simple, it can be serious, it can be funny, it can be, something that will make you laugh, but just make a prediction. So she said, it could be predict what the weather would be like in tomorrow, which is, if you live in Saskatchewan, could be a little bit hit and miss. Will we have snow? Will it be sunny out? Who knows? It's spring in Saskatchewan. So it could be as simple as, what time do you think you're actually going to leave the house tomorrow? What time do you think you will get the first phone call? Or how many phone calls will you get? Or how many emails might you get tomorrow? So simple predictions. You might want to predict, if you're a golf fan, who's going to win the Masters this weekend. It could be, how many times will your kids say mom in the next 3 hours if they're at home with you because it's Easter break. So just think of something that you could make a prediction. Here's why it's helpful. So big predictions, small predictions, serious, funny, that's all up to you. But predictions are one of the most reliable and efficient ways to prime the reward circuitry of your brain. And when you are priming that part of your brain, it actually increases attention, and it actually helps to increase dopamine, which we said helps you to have a better work ethic. So every time you make a prediction, like we talked about a little bit earlier, every time you make a prediction, there are 2 possible things that could happen. You could get it right. Your brain likes it when it's right. You feel successful. You feel good about that. But the other thing is, when you make a prediction and you get it wrong, you get feedback. And if you're playing a video game, for example, every time you get something wrong, you get immediate feedback and you learn from that and you try again and you keep going in that positive cycle of you learn and you grow and you learn and you grow until you get to your goal. So essentially, if you get it right, you make a prediction and you get it right, you get a dopamine boost because you got it right. But research actually shows if you get it wrong and you get feedback from the situation, you actually get a greater dopamine boost because your brain loves to learn. So actually getting it right or getting your prediction wrong, either way, it's a win-win situation for your brain. You increase your dopamine levels in your body. And again, getting it wrong actually leads to a bigger dopamine boost. So the biggest part to getting the extra dopamine boost is that you know you can try again. There isn't pressure that if you have to get it right, you have to make the prediction right. So as long as you know that you can learn from it and try again, that will actually lead to the bigger dopamine boost. So you can use this technique of making a prediction when you're stressed, when you're bored, when you're struggling to focus, when you're dealing with someone who's, caught up in a really negative situation or cycling into a more of a negative feedback loop. Try saying, let's predict how many times this will happen, or let's predict, the next time that someone will walk into the office, or who will have this type of thing happen to them next. So make a prediction. All of those help to get your brain out of that loop and into a more positive space where you can boost the dopamine. And again, if you want a little bit of an extra boost, here's your extra tip is make a prediction with somebody else. Because when you and someone else make a prediction, there's a little bit of friendly competition, and that friendly competition will actually increase your anticipation of who might be right and who will get that prediction correct, and that adds extra dopamine itself. So remember, all of that is linked back to increased dopamine, helps to increase your work ethic. And so your challenge, whether you choose to accept tonight, is to make a prediction. So this has to be one of the easiest strategies that we've done. We've pulled ways to live gamefully and, again, make a prediction. Will you get to bed earlier or later than normal? What will you have for breakfast in the morning? Make a prediction of what the weather will be like, or when will you actually get out the door and enjoy some time outside. Leave it in the comments if you're okay to do that. My prediction is at least 5 of you will leave me a comment of what your predictions are. So that is my prediction for the evening. I'll check back for the video tomorrow to see if at least 5 of you have left me a comment on your predictions. And if you're enjoying these videos or curious about learning more about Super Better, shoot me a message and I'll send you the link to my YouTube channel so you can get caught up on that. And I do have a great TED Talk that connects you back to Dr. Jane McGonigal if you're curious about Super Better and living more gamefully. So have a great evening, everybody. Hopefully you're making a prediction right now. Take care. Good night.